Hello everyone, and welcome back to another 10 deck deep dive. As today, we're gonna get into the 101st Airborne, as this division is in a better spot now again. First of all, its main counter, IFVs, got nerfed, and that is helpful. And its helicopters, especially the little boards, got a slight help out with a bit of an availability buff, so the deck is in a pretty good spot again. It was already okay last patch, and it is pretty fine now, I would say. So it's time for us to jump back in, because the last deck dive we did on it was nearly a year ago when it came out. So let's talk about the 101st Airborne. And we started the logistics step, where we have three CVs here with the Humvee, 3 supply cards, quick reinforcements here with the helicopter supply and so on. Pretty helpful to keep your helicopters supplied, your fighting helicopters. Pretty helpful to get your tanks and your infantry resupplied quickly as well. The mules can run between the helicopters and the infantry really nicely as well. That's helpful too. And yeah, UHs quickly, CHs quickly up on the front line. The goat here is pretty slow, so I don't like the big goat here. I still rather run the small muley, or actually, maybe no. Actually, you should run this one. That was a mistake by me. The mules, I have one vet, but the vet is not that important for these guys. And these are actually faster ones. I confused the twos. 500 supply here on these, 90 kmh on road speed, 50 kmh off road speed, and they only cost 5 points more for 200 more supply. So take these guys. Infantry tab is a good one, a fantastic one. One of the main reasons to play this deck. You start with a leader here. This one doesn't have forward deploy. Can come in a helicopter, but we don't bring it. But it has a flash. It has 11 hit points. You could go for the Green Beret leader as well, which is a fantastic infantry unit. Fantastic infantry unit. I just don't want to risk it in the Chinook for my infantry leader. I have the forward deploy leaders. Oh no, I don't have forward deploy leaders yet, but you don't get any anyways. But yeah, I'd rather take these guys here than the Green Berets, because I don't want to risk them in the Chinook and lose them to enemy fighters killing off my CV. So yeah, rather take the Aero Engineers as the flash, also make them really good in ground combat. Aero Rifles, that's the first helicopter-borne infantry. 13 hit points, 3 light machine guns. These guys win infantry fights. 84, good weapon as well. They're only a bit overshadowed by the Green Berets ODA, who have 1 extra hit point. A sniper rifle instead of a light machine gun, which is usually good as well. And they're special forces. And they have an 84. These guys are one of the best combat units in the game. If you can keep the infantry leader next to them, they're fantastic. They have to come in the Chinook as well with the minigun. With the 20 ECM, it at least has a bit extra survivability. And it is decently fast and all, but yeah, you have to be a bit careful where you unload this, because losing 165 points obviously can be a big swing. So don't just throw them in there and have them in critical spots just combat dropping. Bring them either behind enemy lines, or far enough behind enemy lines when you have air dominance, or far enough on your side that they don't get shut down when they reach the front line. Then we have Aero Rifle Dragons. Decent unit as well. The Dragon 2 still can help out against IFVs, can one-shot a lot of these, so we take these guys here in good numbers. And then Aero Fire Teams, those are super important. 35 points, have an 84. These are super important for the early game, holding off the enemy on flanks. They only have 1 MG here. These are 5 hit points ones, not the ones that you know from Bradley's or so. The Aero and Airborne fire teams only have 5 hit points, so they can't hold off enemy infantry as well, but they are really helpful of dealing with enemy vehicles on the side and being helpful there. And then we have 2 cards of TOW2s, 1 in Blackhawks. This can be really clutch, getting some ATGMs into spots quickly when you realize the enemy might get there with vehicles. And 1 in the Gamma Goat, which is a pretty slow transport, but you get it cheaper and it can't get shut down in the air. And then we have 1 Aero Engineer here for more CQC combat, though if you want, you could also change that out for example, Aero Rifles. It's not that big of a difference here, but I feel like having a TNT unit for infantry combats in towns can be helpful here still, so I go with these guys instead. The Mule M40, unfortunately, not that great. And you only get TOW2s, which I wish you could get ITOs, but TOW2s it is. obviously they are great, but a bit overkill against a lot of units, so that's a bit of an issue. Artillery, you get a good one. M900, M198, really good gun, 4 rounds per minute, hits hard. The smoke of the mortars can be really helpful as well, though, for some infantry pushes, for stopping IVs from having sidelines. So you need both here. You can't just go with 4 M155s. If you take something else out, you could, but you can't just take those and not the mortars in my eyes. You need the mortars for the smoke, so getting the mortars for the smoke, we do. Tank tab, all the M1 IPs cards that you can get. One with 0 vet. This is your fire support M1 card. Those you don't want to have attacking usually, unless it's in the late game. And these, the M1 IP leader and the M1 IP with 1 vet, are the ones that are supposed to push, push into enemies and take the fights. The M1 IP is really survivable. It unfortunately doesn't do the highest damage. You don't want to get tank fights against other heavy tanks with these. You want to use these to kill off enemy IVs, to sit around spots where the enemy has some light tanks around and eat those alive. You don't want to fight heavy tanks with these. That's where your TOW2s in the infantry tab, your TOW2s from the Humvees, and your helicopters and air units come in to try to kill those. And not your M1 IPs. They are for light tanks, light vehicles, and infantry for the most part, and for the survivability. 18 frontal armor is really good. Can survive a good couple of hits usually before it goes down. Recon is a fantastic tab in this deck. Has one of the most important units for this deck, the Deltas, which come in the Humvee Delta, which is a Special Force Humvee with forward deploy, and it also has a 50 cal. So Special Force means that's the thing also scales up with veterancy. So it moves a bit faster here as well. Moves with 110 kmh. If you would wet them up, it would even move faster and get better veterancy here. But you want to have decent numbers of these guys around. You could go with one up vet and one not vet. This could be an option. And then use these for the best combat spots, as they're special forces and veterancy helps them out extra. This one then also can go extra places. And yeah, they are really, really strong. The Kagu stuff that they got made them a lot better, and they have a lot of firepower to chew through enemy light recon units as well. So Kagu stuff helps out. Humvee Delta obviously can help out against infantry as well. Your recon helicopters, both key as well. Quick fix there to soak for your other helicopters, to find the enemy, to reduce the enemy recon, and just really use the 40% ECM. And the Kiowa Warrior, both there for the exceptional optics to spot enemies and for hitting things with hellfires. So really good combo here as well in the helicopters. And then you have another good recon infantry, so you have enough recon infantry to go around, as the Aero Scouts are not the nice 10-man hit point squad that can come around. The Law is helpful as well. They can fight enemy recon infantry quite nicely with the shock. So the recon tab here is a good one. A is not great, but it is okay. I use the Arrow Stingers with the Muley, because the Mule with the 50 cal can be decent fire support. Not super important against helicopters. It is pretty cheap, the 50 cal there. So yeah, use it for fire support, can be quite helpful. With 2 vet, it deals good amount of damage. And the Arrow Stingers are key to get the frontline AA around, so that your fighters have a bit of an easier time and so on. And the Chaparral, a good AA unit as well. Helpful against helicopters, helpful against air. The other slots, unfortunately, a bit too expensive. I would like a OH, I would like a PVAT, but the basics here have to be covered, and that's what Chaparral and Stingers are for. So that you can win the air fights with your air tap and your AA, so that your helicopters can fly. Because if you lose the air war, your helicopters will suffer, and they are pretty key. They are really good. We start with the MH-68 DAB, which has Hydra rockets and a lot of minigun and 30mm firepower here to smack enemy infantry and just smack light targets in general. Has decent survivability with 20% ECM as well on an 8 hit point plane for 150 points. 2 availability here on max vet, so that is nice. Then we have the Little Bird. Don't use the normal one, as the miniguns are not that great anymore, but the Gao is pretty good. The rockets here are nice as well. This one also has slightly fewer rockets, so yeah, this Little Bird here comes around nicely, and the Gao is decently powerful, dealing with light targets and you can come around. It's a bit weird because the veterancy level of helicopters got buffed in the past and how it works. But these guys don't use this. They use the special forces table, which is a bit special, and it's better than the veterancy and other tabs. Like the special forces is better than the normal infantry veterancy that bonus that you get, which is all nice and fine. But for the helicopters, you rather would take the buffs that they get here from these bonies, as they already get movement speed and so on. So no, that's what they get here from. Yeah, this is what special forces gives them. But the helicopters here would get aim time minus 40%. Here, you don't get an aim time bonus. You get precision bonus, that is nice. But that you would get over here as well. And stress resilience actually is higher here as well. Stress recovery is higher here as well. So what you get is the movement speed and the rate of fire. So, but in the end, this is still maybe not quite as good as this one. So, it's interesting. Special forces here versus normal helicopter veterancy. And then we have a lot of Apaches. And Apaches are fantastic. Apache with Hellfires and Stingers can shoot down enemy recon helicopters early, can be used for killing off helicopters in general. And the Hellfires are fantastic. And then we have the Rocket Hellfire combo that can be used all around, and it's all around amazing. 20% ECM helpful on these guys as well, decently fast and so on. Apaches are still really good helicopters. So yeah, they do their job here. And then we have fighters, and we have the Eagles here. We have the Phantoms. Phantoms cost efficient, Eagle high end, so that you can win the late game air fights. And then we have Phantoms with bombs to take out some light targets. They're not great bombers, but they're pretty cheap. They can help out against helicopters as well. And that's the job here, 175 points. Coming in, maybe kill a helicopter and the enemy ATGM team or so, and get the value of that. And help out a bit with the air dominance as well. The rest of the planes here, not that great. Second Eagle card could be an option, but then you don't have anything to strike with, and that would be rough as well. So I'd rather run with this here. So let's talk strengths and weaknesses. And let's start with the strength. You have amazing recon with forward deployment. You have a fantastic infantry tab. And you have good helicopters. Like, those are the three great strengths. You have tanks, which is not standard for an airborne deck, but you are not really a standard airborne deck because you only have a couple forward deploy units. So you are more of a mechanized deck that doesn't have mech, but has helicopters. It's a bit weird in that regard. And your weaknesses are no IFVs. And that is big. The lack of IFVs here is annoying. No long-range AA in the AA tab is a bit annoying as well for a division that wants to protect its helicopters and so on. The iHawk would be amazing, but you don't get one. And then third thing is no good strike aircraft. Like, that would synergize so well with the helicopters if you really could super go into the air spam, but you can't, and that can be really annoying. So no strong strike aircraft here, the last weakness. And yeah, let me know down below what you think about this deck. I had decent success with it lately, and I think it's in a decent spot again. I don't believe it's super hot. Like, maybe it's B tier. Let me know down below what you think about that. And see you all in the next one, guys. Bye-bye, and have a great day.